Good morning. It's January 12th. I'm repeating the walk I did yesterday, but in the opposite direction and on the other side of the street. Because now the car ended up being kept overnight, so the battery was frozen, apparently. So I have to go down and pick it up now. So that will take me in the opposite direction from what I did yesterday. And a bit later. The sun is up now, or will be shortly. I think it just came up. Also, I'm still experimenting with the microphone situation, so I'm back to my wireless mic now. I'm going to see if it stays connected like the wired one did yesterday for the entire walk. As I continue to try to eliminate variables and figure out exactly what is causing my mic problems. It worked yesterday for the entire walk, which gives me hope, because I don't think it has anything to do with which microphone I'm using, because it was hanging up on me no matter which of these mics I used. The wireless one is preferable because it's wireless. Also, I paid money for it. It's about minus 10 Celsius, which is about 16 Fahrenheit. So, pretty good. It's supposed to go to +1 today. Got it just around freezing yesterday. There's supposed to be snow tomorrow. Snow showers, anyway. Whatever that means. I don't know how much snow, but some. It stays fairly mild this week, and then it's getting a little colder again in the next couple of weeks. But not as cold as it was, so hopefully my battery doesn't freeze again. Also asked him to see if the block heater is working on the car. That might have made a difference. But I'm not convinced of that because the Volvo battery for that era is in the trunk. So the fact that the block heater is heating wouldn't actually warm the battery whatsoever. So we'll go down and walk over the bridge, and then we'll just be sticking to the sticking to Albert Street all the way down, I think, unless I wander in one block just to avoid Albert and walk down Angus. Might do that. Maybe I will. We'll see. Oh, good morning. Who's there? Oh, hi, Miriam. Snow, snow, snow. Yes. That pretty much defines the winter around here. As I've said before, we don't really get tons of snow. It's an arid climate, semi-arid climate. But because it doesn't melt, it piles up. We don't get typically the kinds of snows they get in, like along the Great Lakes or places like that where you have all that water. Or St. John's or some of the maritime provinces. But their snow usually melts after a little bit. Ours doesn't for most of the winter. Although if it gets to +1 today, it'll melt a little bit. That'll mostly be on the roads. It won't affect the snow cover very much. Then when I get home, more editing. This afternoon I have a board meeting with Sask Books, Publishers Association. And tomorrow I have an interview with Sarah Hoyt for the podcast. I interviewed Edward Lerner yesterday. So then I'll have 2 in hand, which will take me through the end of the month, and I'm working on some others. Of course, I have the Kickstarter coming up for Shapers of Worlds Volume 3, featuring third-year guests of the podcast. That'll be running in March, I think. I'm still collecting backers' rewards, and then I have to set the whole thing up. But first, I have a freelance editing job. It's due this week. As soon as it's done, I have more time to turn my attention to all these many, many other things I'm doing. Well, the sun is up, but there's clouds over there, so we won't see it like we did yesterday. I can tell it was warm yesterday because of the color of the road is now brown. And if you look along here, it was warm enough yesterday that it splattered as the cars went by. And now that's frozen, so everything's covered with blotches of frozen, muddy snow. That should melt off today again, and it might just get worse though. So I wouldn't want to have been walking along here when that was happening. But at the moment, it's too cold for that. It won't be thawing until the sun gets a little higher. There's a bit of a haze. I don't know what that's from. And that's just warm air coming in over top of the snow cover. And the snowblower is still working over there, clearing a big patch of ice in front of the legislature, presumably for skating. So far the microphone stayed connected as far as I can tell, which is good. My last remaining variable was multi-streaming let's take a look on the Wascana. You can see there's a patch of bare ice down there, so somebody has cleared that for skating. I don't think you're actually supposed to do that, but people do. This Rotary Park over here, this side of the bridge. Over there, looking pretty. Prettier than the Albert Street looks. I think I will not walk on Albert Street. I think I'll move over a block and walk down on Angus, just to avoid all these cars. Ah, well, there you go. The mic went off, which it didn't do yesterday. I hope you can still hear me. I don't want to unplug it because that sometimes causes problems with the gimbal. So, okay, so that's interesting. In fact, that's so interesting. I'm going to stop this right here and restart it without Facebook to recreate what I did yesterday. So, sorry if you're on Facebook. I'll post the YouTube later. If you're on YouTube with me, I'm going to stop this, but I'll be right back with a fresh stream. Okay, I'm back with a fresh YouTube stream, but without the Facebook stream, because it's possible that's where the problem lies with the microphone disconnecting. So this should answer that question. If it disconnects again, I'll just leave it, but I'm experimenting here. So if you're just finding me on YouTube, welcome. If you're rejoining me from the one that was just running, that I killed, welcome back. I will be walking along Albert Street here to South Albert to pick up my car, which I dropped off yesterday. Yesterday I walked from South Albert home, so I'm kind of reversing that. Yesterday my microphone worked fine the entire way. So the last variable I can think of here is this multi-stream. If this microphone goes off, then I'll still do another test tomorrow with the wired microphone and see if it stays connected. Because the sound is so much better when I have a... Oh well, maybe I'll walk down Albert. I don't want to walk down Albert. Too many cars. Let's go over to Angus. Too much traffic. Could walk down the alley. Done that before. But I think I'll walk down the street. There's a jogger. Here's the alley, but it's in the spring. And there it goes. Lost the external mic again. So, well, that's a disappointment since it worked yesterday. What has changed? Absolutely nothing. Except I'm using a different microphone. But both microphones are disconnecting. Well, I hope you've got sound. I'm not going to fiddle with it anymore. If you're there, let me know you can hear me. It's just not coming through the external mic. Drat, I really thought I had it fixed. Anyway, here we are on Angus Street. We'll just walk south on it until we get to South Albert. That's really disappointing. I really thought it was the multi-stream that must be the difference there. It wasn't. I thought it was the bit rate, but apparently it's not. So the thing is, when I do this at home and I run tests, it doesn't disconnect. It's only when I'm out walking. So does it have something to do with a drop in the connectivity? I don't see why. It's the video that takes all the bandwidth, not the audio. So annoying. I really thought I had it figured out. I should restart this again since nobody's watching and add Facebook back in. And then I'll edit this all together later. All right, this is the last attempt. This is my third stream if you're just finding this. This is my last attempt to see if the microphone will keep working. So this time, it's complicated, but this time I turned off multi-stream. Last time I just took Facebook off of it. This time I turned off the multi-stream beta. So I'm just streaming to YouTube. Of course, the whole reason I used this particular app was the multi-streaming capability. But anyway, so now we'll watch it and see if the... Nope, there it goes. So it's got nothing to do with any of the stuff I thought it might have something to do with. Okay, well, I guess I'm back to just using the microphone on the phone then. Okay, well, I had to do those experiments, so I'm sorry if this is disjointed this morning. Anyway, here we are again. I hope there's sound. Walking south to go pick up the car that I left yesterday when I walked north. We're in Lakeview on Angus Street. Many houses I've walked by many times. So tomorrow I'll use the wired mic again. And see what happens. As I said, what I should do one day then is not live stream. I know, to the great disappointment of my multitudes of fans. But simply record it on the iPhone and see if the mic stays on for that. That's the last way to find out if this has something to do with the app, I think. This is all boring, I know, but talking about that, that's what I'm struggling with. Oh well, yesterday I had good sound the whole way. So if you're just joining me, it's January 12th. It's minus 10 Celsius, which is 16 Fahrenheit. I'm walking south on Angus Street, heading to South Albert to pick up my car that I dropped off yesterday. I've been experimenting with the live stream and the microphones, and that's why this is number 3 live stream this morning. I pretty much demonstrated that whatever the problem is, I don't have a handle on it. I thought yesterday I did, but not now. At least it's a pretty walk. Very snowy. Take some cleanup on my YouTube channel after this. So I'll combine the 3 streams together into one file for posting. Later. If you're there, I don't think anybody is at the moment, so I won't bother saying that, but I was going to say, tell me if you can hear me. I didn't unplug the mic, it just quit. Normally it goes to the camera mic when that happens, but I don't know that for sure. It's possible it's just silent right now. Maybe I should unplug it if it doesn't throw the balance off too much. Yeah, it did a bit. Yeah, I need to adjust that just a little. You can hear me? Well, that's good. Well, I unplugged it, just to be 100% sure. Unplugged the mic that's not working. Everything may be slightly slanted now because of changing the weight proportions. No, not too bad. All right. Carry on. This is the 3rd walk. It's all one walk, but this is the 3rd stream. And hello to everybody. I've been experimenting with mics and still haven't fixed the problem. I thought I had it fixed yesterday, because yesterday's walk, the external mic worked the entire walk. So today I switched to my wireless mic and it promptly disconnected. So you might think it's the mic, but the wired mic I used yesterday has also disconnected in the past. So I'm completely at sea now. I thought it might have to do with the bit rate settings. And so it seemed like I had fixed that, but apparently not. So back to using just the camera mic, which is not horrible most of the time. Only on a windy day is it really bad. It's just I spend all this money on these microphones. And for whatever reason, they quit working. So it still might boil down to the app. So we're walking down Angus Street here, heading to South Albert. So it's the reverse of yesterday's walk. Very wintry. I'd say Christmassy, but Christmas is over. Thought it might have something to do with multi-streaming to both Facebook and YouTube, but this is just going to YouTube, and the microphone still quit on me. Thought it might be something called adaptive bit rate in the app, but I turned that off. Yesterday, no problem, but today it's still off. But the mic disconnected again. So I'm really out of ideas. We'll walk as far south in Angus as we can, and we'll have to move over to the to Albert Street, which is just a block over there. Rather grand house here. I did all my talking about what I'm doing today in the first walk, but got editing and got a board meeting today for SAS Books, the Saskatchewan Publishers Association, and I've done a couple. I've done one podcast interview this week. That was yesterday with Edward and Lerner. I'm doing another one tomorrow with Sarah Hoyt for upcoming episodes of the World Shapers podcast, where I talk to other science fiction and fantasy authors about their creative process. Many of those folks then contribute to the anthologies I've been kickstarting, and I have a Kickstarter coming up in March. And a day, if I walk for an hour, it's 5 to 6 kilometers. This won't be that far. This is probably about a 4K walk. A non-cleared sidewalk here, in violation of the city bylaw. They've cleared this side, but they haven't cleared this side. This might be 5K, but somewhere in that neighborhood, 4, 5, 6, depends on how far I walk. Oh look, comment bot. They always find the feed even when it's the third one you've done, because you're playing with your microphones. Well, tomorrow I'll go back to the wired mic. It worked yesterday, and we'll see if it works again for an entire walk. Don't know where I'll walk tomorrow. Until the sun's up, because I'm catching glimpses of it reflecting on the windows over here. This is as far as we can walk straight south without moving over to Albert, I think. Might be an alley we can take. There might even be another street. I don't think so. No, it looks like we go straight to Albert from here. Across here. Might be an alley. Is that an alley? There is an alley. I'll take that. Let's take the alley for a bit. At least for one block, just to be different. It's not bad. It's -10 right now, going up to +1 today. So that's 16 Fahrenheit up to 34, more or less, for a high. So we'll get a bit of melting today. I should put this safety strap on my wrist, on the gimbal. Turning a bit colder again next week, but a few nice days here. Okay, we'll go over to Albert now. Over there, we'll see the sun. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, sure. Let's come over here where no clearing has been done on the corner. Great options. There's the sun, though, as promised. Just a couple more blocks here and we'll be into the business part of South Albert. Someone not doing a good job on their sidewalks. That's Regina Christian School playground over there that I walked by yesterday. And of course, as I mentioned yesterday, Marion Chateau, Marion Gardens, Marion something else, retirement living. As a freelancer, I never get to retire, so. Right till I drop, basically. guess my only other option here now is to try a different app. That'd be the other thing, the final thing I can check, recording-wise, microphone-wise. Then I have to learn to use a whole other app. And they don't... Multi-streaming is not a very common feature. Although, again, the guy that inspired all this, Gabe, the walking commuter in New York, he just streams to YouTube. And I could do that. But I do have people on Facebook who like to watch, so I feel bad if I quit multi-streaming. Even though this one is not being multi-streamed. Another uncleared sidewalk. Boy, if I were nasty, I could call the city bylaw department and have them come and give warnings to all these people. But I'm not nasty. Tempting though, when you do as much walking as I'm doing. You really begin to appreciate cleared sidewalks and roads. So up here we'll reach the business portion of South Albert. It's all residential on this side, and then one more block up, all the way down into the ring road. It's businesses. Bird chirping in that tree. Oh, the sun's finding us again. Perfect timing. Okay, now we're on the west side. Obviously that's the east side, well, with the sun coming up and all. East side of South Albert. Businesses along here, starting with the Golden Mile Center, if they still call it that. Smart Centers is what it says up there now. It was a more traditional mall, and then it was kind of completely redone with sort of more facing outward stores. I don't know if there must still be a mall behind them, but I haven't been into it for a long time. We could go take a walk through it sometime. Dollarama inspired cannabis. Not a big fan of legalized marijuana, but it's just me. They did it anyway. There's also a liquor store coming up here. Up this corner. Well, we got Fatburger first, I guess. But Urban Cellars there is a private liquor store, which we never used to have in Saskatchewan. It was all run by the government for a long time. I guess that's what you get when, for a long time, your premier is a former Baptist minister turned socialist. Back in his heyday, if you wanted to buy liquor, you went into a dingy government store filled out a list, they went into the back and brought you what you wanted. Before my time, but I have heard. That's socialism for you. Top-down control of everything, no matter how miserable it makes the public. Why no, I'm not a socialist. More of a libertarian than anything else. Kind of a squishy libertarian. I like some government programs, but so I'm not a real libertarian. But individual liberty is the most important thing, as far as I'm concerned. I guess that goes with being a writer. Free speech and all that. You remember free speech? We used to have it. Hotels over here. The sun rising between them. Good old Kentucky Fried Chicken. Then there's apartment buildings sort of on the next block over. There's lots of those. That's a big one there. Wait for the left turns to finish. Another gas station. Such excitement. That's not cleared at all, so I guess I'll go this way through the parking lot. Or the driveway, or whatever you want to call it. It's an Esso station. Reaching to buy gas at Petro Canada because of points cards, things like that. Also, that's the closest one to our house is Petro Can. There's Dairy Queen. India Palace next to it, Indian restaurant. I don't believe I've eaten in this version of this. There's been various restaurants in that space over the years. And we get Earl's. The government liquor store is right over there, SLGA. Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority. They run the casinos too. Scotiabank. Chinese Lantern Restaurant. The French Press is a nice coffee shop. And there's a Shoppers Drug Mart next to that. My doctor's office is in a building behind this one, so I use this parking lot quite a bit. This used to be Brewster's over here, the brew pub. I've been working on it pretty much since I started doing these walks, at least since the first time I walked down here. I still don't know what's going in there. Don't know if it's going to be a restaurant or they're just turning it into an office building or something. store? I do not know. You got to sign up somewhere? I never have. To say what they're doing. The only sign says A1 Fence Rentals, which is not very informative. Nothing saying future home of. Anything like that. $7-Eleven. We may have more 7-Elevens in most places. On early walk, somebody said they were all gone in their city. We still got lots. Wandering a wandering shopping cart, a thing of treads and patches. Little Gilbert Sullivan for you there. Well, except of course it's obviously not a shopping cart in the original. It's a minstrel. Wandering minstrel I, a thing of shreds and patches, of ballad songs and snatches, and dreamy lullabies. My catalogue is long, through every passion ranging, into your humors changing or wishes. I tune my supple song. Are you in sentimental mood? I'll sigh with you. Oh, sorrow. On maidens, something do you swoon? I'll do so too. Oh, sorrow. But if patriotic sentiment is wanted, my patriotic ballads cut and dry. For where a country's banner may be planted, another country's banners be denied. Our soldiers in serried ranks assembled, never quail or they conceal it if they do. And I shouldn't be surprised if nations tremble before the mighty troops, the troops of Titty-Poo. Well, that's enough of that. Not sure what happens in the song after that. I think he just repeats the chorus. A wandering minstrel I. It's in the Mikado once in 1997. I played Pish Tush. Lord High Everything Else. There's the Lord High Executioner, and there's the Lord High Everything Else. Cow Tire, which unfortunately is not where the car is. But I'm close now. Just a couple more blocks. In fact, I can see the pedestrian crossing up ahead that I need. They've essentially parked this car on the sidewalk. I haven't sung Barrett's Privateer. You may be thinking of The Last Saskatchewan Pirate. I don't know Barrett's Privateer very well. I kind of remember the story of the guy sitting on the pier in Halifax, but I don't actually know the lyrics. Yeah, The Last Saskatchewan Pirate, that's an Arrogant Worms song. And you can find it on my YouTube channel. Me singing it in the underbelly in St. John's, Newfoundland, with Alan Doyle in attendance. I don't have the greatest breath support while walking. Funny that. Okay, well, OK Tire is just over there. I just have to get across the street in one piece. What could possibly go wrong? There's a pedestrian crossing up here with lights, so it should be okay. Of course, why did they put up lights? Because somebody was run over there, so, you know, closing the barn door too late and all of that. Yeah, somebody's using it now. Be my turn. Not that anybody's bothered to clear a path to it, it doesn't look like. I think it's just beaten down. Right. The city requires you to clear your sidewalks, but then they don't clear something like this, leading to pedestrian crossing. Still, I feel much safer with the lights than before when it was just a honor system. Had a pedestrian crossing sign, but that was it. Okay, well, I'm here at OK Tire, which is where my car is, so I will call it quits here on South Albert. So thanks for watching with me. Sorry it was 3 separate feeds, and even sorrier that my microphone didn't work again, but my external microphone. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the walk. I'll be back tomorrow, I would expect. Bye for now.